Hello, fellow teachers. This is Richard, just giving you a little bit of an orientation to teaching online. That thing over there. This is a student from Africa has just given me this to. His wife made it drink and to get better by drinking. Anyway, here we all are. The wonderful world of online teaching. It's different to face-to-face. I love face-to-face teaching, but I love online as well. And it's just different. It means particularly being available pretty much every day. You check in every day to see what's been happening on the site, maybe to give a comment, to reply to something. You're interacting much more than you would in a face-to-face class that meets, say, once a week. Your interaction isn't concentrated in that segment of, say, 3 hours, concentrated segment. It goes all the way through the week. And that's really the main thing, I think, to know. That online teaching involves checking in each day. Take a day off, obviously, but pretty much every day you check in to see what's been happening and respond to things that have been happening and things people have been saying. So the first thing to say is be available, set aside a time each day. It's probably only going to be half an hour each day or even less, to check in, see what's been happening, respond, let them know that you're there and active and participating. Yes. Another thing to do is if you've got people you're not sure, are they interacting? They haven't been doing anything maybe in some of the activities. You can look at participants and then check on on their login activity, and you can see what they've been looking at, or whether they've been looking at anything, whether they've been logging in, and what they've been doing, just to get an idea. And if it looks like they haven't been there doing anything, you can it's good to write them a message and say, hey, is everything all right? Notice that you haven't been able to log in or do stuff recently. I think it's really good to contact each student personally within, say, by the end of week 2, just to let them know. It's a personal contact. Hi James, loved what you've been doing with your introductory video or whatever, and saw that you had a problem, or maybe you hadn't been able to do that. Have you got any questions or issues? That kind of thing. Something personal in the first couple of weeks is nice, and you can use the message function up on the top right to do that. And usually we'll have fairly small classes. It won't be too onerous. Each week it's good to move up the unit that that week's activities to the top of the Moodle site. That's very easy to do, and it just makes it easier for students to navigate and not have to scroll down all the way through the previous weeks. It's also good each week to give an announcement, just saying, hey, here we are, it's Monday, we're starting week 4, and saying, just orienting them very briefly to the activities of that week. You may well have an introductory video anyway, but it's just nice to have a few sentences about what the week's about, and the key learning activities. Right, please do your very best to make the learning activities interactive, as interactive as you possibly can. That's one of the delights of online teaching, is that you're fostering interaction between the students. There'll be some activities where they just do reflection themselves, but the interaction among them, the things they can learn from each other, are really fantastic through discussion forums, through collaborative wikis and diagrams, through various means. And you'll see some examples of that in Evelyn's example unit that she puts up. And by the way, it'd be good to read through all the stuff that's under this video. Evelyn's put together some really good, in written form, things that we should be looking at. Most of it's in this video, but there are some extras as well. It's good to make learning activities as practically focused as possible as well, like to do something to do with a real life and ministry. This is a course, the Master of Intercultural Studies is a course for practitioners, for cross-cultural workers. So we're trying to direct things towards the practice. Sometimes you'll want to delve into the theory, but think as much as possible how you can help people connect theory and practice. The units, the assessments that students do will be, you'll mark them, but they'll be moderated. So to see that your marks are, roughly what they should be by an Australian College of Theology moderator. So the EM, Evangelism and Missions moderator, will look over the marks, and he or she, usually he, in the 10 years I've been doing it, 10 or 12 years I've been doing it, it has only once adjusted the mark by 2 or 3 marks. It's rare, but he's just looking to see, are these passes really passes? Are these pass pluses really pass pluses? Are these credits really credits? Are these distinctions really distinctions? Are these high distinctions really high distinctions? And it's he's looking over fairly briefly, but that's good to know that there's someone looking over your shoulder. And yes, in the first few weeks of the unit, I found it's good to keep an even closer eye than you will have to do later on to see how things are going. If there's somebody maybe who hasn't logged in at all, send them a special message and kind of get a feel for how the group's going, how each individual's going, and how the group's going too in their interactions. I think that's all I need to say. I wish you all the best with online teaching. It's quite an adventure.